How's everybody doing tonight? I don't know why I think Tuesday at 10 p.m. is my time now. I don't know. Late night with PBO. Somebody said that. Shout out to them. I thought that was interesting. So you see it. Pentagon awards $9 billion cloud deals to the big tech. So we're going to touch on that and a few other things tonight. So I'm sure I'll read this article a couple times. It's super short. So shout out to Wayne in the house. I don't know if he's still here, but I saw him. He came in first. So I'm always dragging, but we can call this late night with PBO on Tuesday. But you see, once again, Pentagon awards 9 billion cloud deals to the big tech firm. So we're gonna hit that article once again. We're gonna read it a couple times, give people time to fall in. So let's get into it. What's up, Wayne? Glad you could join me from Mexico. Let's talk about this Pentagon 9 billion. I think it's 9 billion over 10 years. That's a crazy amount, though. 9 billion. So let's look at that article for the 9 billion. Google, Oracle, Amazon, and Microsoft awarded Pentagon cloud deal of up to $9 billion combined. What's up, casual economist? Third shift clocking in. I feel you. I've never really worked third shift. I need my sleep. Shout out to casual economists joining us. Uh, Darius in the house. I know 9 billion. That's a crazy amount. So let's once again we probably read this a couple of times. This is a super short article. Once again, we read it while people fall in. Of the four companies receiving cloud computing contracts from the Pentagon, all three had received requests for bid from the U.S. federal agency last year. At the time, GSA, General Service Administration, didn't expect Oracle, a lesser player in the cloud infrastructure business, would be able to meet the Pentagon needs. Oracle's been in the Fed space game forever. I was doing Oracle database in, I want to say 95, and they were already doing government type work. So I would think they understood that line of business. The contract for the four companies could reach a combined total of 9 billion. Shout out to the Pentagon. The Pentagon said Wednesday that Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Oracle received a cloud computing contract that can reach a highs of 9 billion through 2028. Ooh, that's only 6 years to get 9 billion. What's up, JM? So you got 6 years to get 9 billion. So I think Amazon will get a big share. Microsoft will get a equal share. Google will get some, and Oracle will probably get 1 billion maybe. 1 billion scraps, right? Go to Oracle, right? That's 9 billion in 6 years. I thought they were at least take it out to 10 though. 9 billion total to 2028. Azure is a beast. Oh, what 100%, man. Azure is no joke, man. A lot of my clients I used to work with definitely use Azure, especially in the Fed space and the state space, because everybody was using Microsoft. So you just spun up O365 in the cloud. Then you gone throw up that Active Directory AFDS in the cloud, right? So they had a built-in market share. Shout out to JM. Hi, late night. I just said that. I like that, JM. Late night with PBO. I might start putting that on my thumbnail. Let me bring up my thumbnail right there real quick. I might put late night at PBO or something in the top. I like that. I like that. Shout out to JM. I might have to use that. The outcome of the Joint Warfighter Cloud Capability, or JWCC, efforts in line with the United Defense Department's efforts to rely on multiple providers or remote operating infrastructure technology, as opposed to relying on a single company as a strategy be promoted by during the Trump administration. I'm gonna need to wake up. But yeah, Trump was actually just pushing because him and Bezos didn't get along, so he gave it out to I think it's Azure. So yeah, so you theoretically, I think a multi-cloud strategy is better, right? After the Department of Defense spokeswoman told CNBC, the JWCC is a multi-awarded procurement composed of 4 contracts with a shared ceiling of 9 billion, right? So it might not get to 9 billion, but they're gonna get a ton of that. They're gonna get a ton of that. So yep, shout out on that. Check out my man AI and ME. I'm actually thinking about taking this search for that in AWS because they got a machine learning search in AWS, brother Michael. So I've been contemplating if I'm gonna try to get that cert or not. An increasing tally of businesses also sought to rely on more than one cloud provider. In some cases, they rely on specialized capabilities on one, and the majority of front end and back end workloads on another. At other times, that comes down to cost. Having more than one cloud might make organizations more confident that they can withstand a service disruption brought on by outages, right? And we always talked about that. The future is going to definitely be multi-cloud, right? So I think you're going to definitely have Azure, AWS, probably a little Google, depending on what you're doing. You get some Salesforce in, obviously some Oracle. Rackspace is in there. They got some Fed capable data centers. So it's definitely going to be a multi cloud. Originally, the Pentagon awarded the Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, which was the JEDI, and Trump awarded Microsoft all that in 2019. So it was the JEDI to Microsoft. And of course, AWS sued the government. Shout out to AWS. They're not scared. A legal battle ensured that Amazon, the top player in the cloud infrastructure market, challenged the Pentagon's decision. Oracle challenged also the Pentagon pick as well. In 2020, the Pentagon watchdog conducted a review and ruled that there were no evidence to conclude that the Trump administration had intervened in the process of awarding the contract. Months later, the Pentagon announced it would stick with Microsoft for the JEDI deal. Microsoft was supposed to get the whole 10 billion or 9 billion originally, right? But to me, it makes more sense to give it to 4. I thought they were actually going to give it to like 10 vendors, right? Just save a billion and just sprinkle it with all the little guys, Salesforce, Rackspace. There's just so many smaller super specialized cloud vendors. So I thought they were going to get a billion to spread it out with 10 small vendors, but they gave it to the big 4. Last year, the Pentagon changed their approach, asking for bids for Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and Oracle to address their cloud needs. But the GSA stated that the time only Amazon and Microsoft seemed to be able to meet the Pentagon requirements. So everybody knew those big 2 was about that federal space, about the government life. So once again, I knew Oracle could do it, right? Wednesday resulted in a boon, in particular for Oracle, which analysts didn't see in the top tier of companies offering cloud-based computing services. Oracle generated $900 million in cloud infrastructure revenue in the quarter, ending in August 31st, a small fraction of the $20.5 billion for Amazon Cloud subsidiary, Amazon Web Service, in the third quarter. So Amazon made $20 billion in the third quarter, right? What's up, Black Dove? Glad you can make it. So of course, Amazon is the 800-pound gorilla in there. Azure is right behind them now. So once again, it's going to be a multi-cloud strategy. For the technologies company has one infinite delivery, quantity IDIQ contracts, meaning that they can involve in an indefinite amount of services for a specific period of time. The purpose of this contract is to provide Department of Defense with enterprise-wide global available cloud services across all security domain, classification level, from strategic all the way down to tactical edge, says the Department of Defense. They had a correction. Prior version of the story said each company was awarded a contract up to $9 billion, That number represents the combined total for the four, right? Which is still a monster contract. So we roll up to the top. Google, Oracle, Amazon, and Microsoft awarded Pentagon cloud deal for up to 9 billion. The thing I guess that kind of I was a little surprised was the date. High of 9 billion up to 2028. That's 6 years away. I thought it'd be a 10 years. So uh, Amazon and Azure are about to make a ton of money in the next 6 years. Right? Buy the stock now. This is not financial advice. Nah, but check it out. But yeah, it's gonna be out. So let's read Biden and Harris administration delivery for strengthening American cybersecurity. Once again, super short article. This actually flows into why we need to get those cloud services to make sure we're strengthening America's cybersecurity, right? And the best way to do that is get a cloud that's already been certified to do that type of work, right? So once it's already certified to do that type of work, you don't have to recertify things and it's ready. So this is October 11th, 2022. Fact sheet Biden Harris administrative delivery on strengthening American cybersecurity. So the administration has brought a relentless focus on improving United States cyber defense. Lock your digital doors and take aggressive action to strengthen and safeguard the nation's cybersecurity. Right. And once again, part of us strengthening cybersecurity is using the best service providers for that: AWS, Amazon, Microsoft, Azure, Oracle's in there, and Google. Right? They have some of the best security people and security data centers. How you doing, Melissa Jane? Thanks for joining. So that's one reason we're getting that 9 billion into the cloud, right? So improving the cybersecurity of critical infrastructure. And we're just going to skim through this, right? So much of the nation's critical infrastructure is owned and operated by the private sector. The administrator works closely with key sectors, including transportation, banking, water, to help stakeholders understand cybersecurity threats, critical systems, and adopt minimum security standards, right? So this includes the introduction of multiple performances directives, TSA, which this is confusing me right here. The TSA, Transportation Security Administration Act, who pat you down at the airport to increase cybersecurity resilience for pipeline and the rail sectors, as well as measure cyber requirements for the aviation sector. They gave that to TSA. I don't even think we pat down people well at the airport. They gave them the pipeline and the railways to TSA, right, for government oversight. So I'm a little concerned with that, man. Shout out to KS Rain for joining us. What good, Professor? Another day, man. So they're trying to get it together through the President National Security Memorandum 8, improving cybersecurity for critical infrastructure. Right? Now I'm gonna do some videos. I actually got a playlist. You can go check on my page. I'm actually gonna send that out so people can see that on my community tab. And I'm gonna do it 16 critical infrastructure. So I'm gonna do a video on each 16. I've got 4 on the electric grid. I got 4 on water, and I think I got 2 on a voting system. Right, so they put voting system in critical infrastructure. Right, so assuring the new infrastructure is smart and secure. Bipartisan infrastructure laws, investment in modernize, strengthen our nation state infrastructure, and ensuring that these projects are spanning nation network, electric vehicle charging station are built in to endure modern standard safety, investment in digital security for bipartisan infrastructure law. Let's see, state and local cybersecurity grant program was totaled $1 billion. Partnered with 185 million available in 2022. So also part of that, and it's probably coming up, is we just had the grid shut down, right? Somebody did a domestic terrorist nation state, right? They shot it down in North Carolina, right? So that's part of the critical infrastructure that we should be funding with this bill they're talking about. Part of the infrastructure too is what spending money on your data centers and getting those workloads securely up into the cloud. Right, that's what the 9 billion is for. Strengthening the federal government cybersecurity requirements and raising the bar through the purchasing power. So Biden raised the bar on our federal government system by requiring impactful cybersecurity steps such as multi-factor authentication. Administration also issued a strategy for federal zero trust architecture implementation. This is weird. I've been reading these for 10 years. I've never seen the White House actually put technology inside one of these multi-factor authentication, federal zero touch architecture. Those are implementation guidelines. Most time, the government at that level, they usually don't get down to that level of detail, right? So I don't know if it's good or bad. I'm still trying to figure it out. Countering ransomware attacks on protect Americans online. We know ransomware is just running amok, right? Just taking us out. Let's see what my man JM got to say. I don't think TSA guys or the technology. I know, JM. So I'm confused why you would put TSA over that. So that's I can see the Homeland Security, Department of Energy, maybe. So, but I don't. Maybe they're gonna strengthen TSA, JM. I would hope. Shout out to Adrian Nash for joining us. They're doing a countermeasures for initiative CRI, bring together its partners around the globe to address the scourge of ransomware. They had an international partners October 31st to November 1 to accelerate and broaden the joint work. The number of cyber criminals has also been successful extradited to the United States to face justice. So they caught a few, right? So working with allies, partners to deliver a more security cyberspace. So I thought this was interesting as part of the international counter ransomware. Right, they're working with dialogue with the breadth of allies and partners to build a collective cybersecurity, establishing a new virtual rapid response mechanism inside NATO. Right, so that's definitely a huge government, global organization, right? So allies have effectively and efficiently offered each other support in response to cyber incidents, right? So it's a global problem. It's a global issue, right? So shout out for them. Imposing cost on and strengthening our security list against the malicious actors, implementing international accepted cyber norms, right? What's the rule of the roads? International partners to call out Iran counter normative attack on Albania government system and impose costs on Tehran for this act. A lot of regimes are shutting down their allies, right? So, what is the rule of law? Should you be shutting down hospitals as part of war, right? For when you're in cyber attack, because before we put on boots on the ground, there's a ton of cyber attacks going on, right? So, what level and what's a ethical way to do that, right? See, my man JM says, "Yep, they do, they do." So you would think give it to the Homeland and let them divvy it up to TSA and get them support, JM. So yeah, I'm still a little confused about that. From the Casillas attack and the pipelines went to TSA, right? Develop a new label to help Americans know their devices are secure. So yeah, this month we're bringing together companies association to discuss development of label for Internet of Things, so American can easily recognize which device meets higher cyber security standards. Right? We were calling it an old term as good housekeeping seal for cybersecurity devices, products, and services. Right? One of my boss said, "How do we do that for a big state agency I work for?" Right? But if you can see it, right, you know it's good, right? And they do have one, and that's on the next slide. We'll talk about what is that in the federal space. Building the nation's cyber force, right? So they had nice national cyber workforce and education. That 120-day cybersecurity apprenticeship sprint to help provide skills-based pathway to cyber jobs. Have the skills to thrive in an increasingly digital society, improve diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the cyber field. So that's some things the the administration is trying to do, which is amicable. There's obviously a shortage of cyber and IT professionals altogether, so they're trying to figure out how to get that in the pipeline, right? We know that people are trying to get in the pipeline, and people are blocking people, right? So, how do you get over those hurdles and actually get people in the pipeline? We are cyber. We are the cyber attack things in Afghanistan of Iraq War. We are the cyber attacks of things in we word that a little bit, JM. What attacks are in Afghanistan? We are the cyber attacks of things. And well, reword that a little bit for me, JM. I'm not quite getting that. So, protecting the future from online commerce to national secrets by developing. This is definitely in the future. Quantum resistant encryption. We rely on encryption to help protect our data from compromise or theft or malicious actors. Advancement in quantum computers, therein that encryption. I'm a big NIST guy, National Institute of Standard and Technology, announced 4 new encryption algorithms that will become post-quantum cryptographic standards expected to be finalized in 2 years. The reason why is the speed of computers are going to be so great that any encryption key is basically you can brute force it because you're going to be able to do a petabyte of speed once quantum computers get here, right? So, how can you create an encryption key that quantum computer can't break, right? So, I think that's what they're getting into right there. Here it is again, developing technology aid for the national quantum initiatives and issues of national security on promoting United States leadership in quantum computing while mitigating risks of vulnerable cryptographic systems, right? So that's it. And once again, I think these initiatives are fueling this right here. We just got through talking about. And once again, we're going to read it again in a minute. Oracle, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft awarded a combined $9 billion over 6 years, right? So what is the housekeeping seal for that? It's called FedRAMP. Let me make this a little better, right? So the government goes out once and says these CSP cloud service providers are good, which is Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. The government goes out and they call it attestation, and audit saying these data centers from these big cloud vendors are good. So any government agency can use these cloud data centers, and they could be used for government work, right? And they rank them from high to moderate to low, right? So depending on what data center you need, FedRAMP approval is the good seal of approval for CSPs, cloud service providers. So we're gonna look that up. I think I'm agreeing with JM right here. There's a shortage, but the problem is the only way to hire their buddies, professors. Yep, I agree with that, man. We got to figure out how to overcome that and get that in the pipeline. And like you said, what is it? Search? Is it? We know you need and we know you need experience, but if you're doing an entry level job, you can't ask for 4 years of experience for an entry level job, right? We got to make it make sense, right? So that's one thing, definitely. So let's talk about what is FedRAMP. Right? Something I do at my job when I review stuff. Right? So FedRAMP is the federal government is one of the largest buyer of cloud technology and cloud service providers. Offer agencies innovative products that help them save time, resources, while meeting critical needs. A CSP who has a cloud serving offering that has been used by the federal government should consider obtaining FedRAMP authorization. FedRAMP provides a standardized security framework for all cloud products and services that is recognized by all executive branch federal agencies. CSPs only need to go through the FedRAMP process once for each CSO and perform continuous monitoring with all agencies reviewing the same continuous monitoring deliverables, creating efficiencies across the government. The FedRAMP Program Management Office provides training, guidance, average, I'm sorry, advisory support for CSPs, helping them navigate the FedRAMP process and understand the requirement. Because it takes you about a year to get approved, but once you get that stamp, you can get government work, and people start looking for you, right? So remember, it's two sides. It's the data center, then it's the software you running in the data center, right? It's called shared responsibility. The data center's got what? The hardware, webcams, the IaaS infrastructure as service, right? Which is bare metal. Then you buy a software platform as a service, a software that needs to get a separate approval that sits on top of the hardware, right? So, and you can do that once again with the FedRAMP. That's that approval. And if you go to this page, the FedRAMP Marketplace, you can Google to see if they got FedRAMP approved. So I put Oracle in there, and you can see the Oracle Cloud right here. Let me make that a little bigger. Has been approved. Like I said, those I've looked at a couple. They call them packages. They're like 1,100 pages. So Oracle right there, Oracle Federal Managed Service, their Fusion Cloud, which is actually their web server and app server software. They got a special government cloud data center, right? Especially for government agencies. It doesn't mix with commercial. So you see those are government options. They got one specifically for DoD right there. So those are approved. It's approved for SaaS, software as a service, moderate level, right? FedRAMP authorized. They got one authorization, right? So theoretically, I could request their package and they would send it to me. I could review it to see if my agency, when I used to work for a state, could use that particular cloud offering for what they would do, right? Most people, I used to do a lot of IRS work. The IRS work said if you use a public cloud, it has to be FedRAMP approved, right? Which is here. Once again, I put Oracle in there. These are cloud that has authorization with Oracle. And here's Oracle's clouds, right? That's why they can get some of that $9 billion because they got FedRAMP approved data centers, right? They got some hot stuff, right? If you got some nuclear weapons information, right, you have to put that in the high part, right? Then they get most information in the government is moderate. Remember, when you talking high, you're actually talking life or death. So that'll be nuclear, parts of the hospital. If you were doing some uh, heart monitoring stuff, right, that would be on high, right? So they got different levels depending on your workload, right? So shout out to Oracle. That's why they get some of that 9 billion. Let's see what my man JM, the hiring managers, to still have that team nerd mentality, professor. Facts. So yeah, that's a shame. So since we got a few more people in, let's just glance through the article one more time. It was super short. 4 companies receiving a cloud computing contract from the Pentagon. All of them received requests for bids from the United States federal agency last year. At the time, GSA didn't expect Oracle, a lesser player in the cloud infrastructure business, would be able to meet the Pentagon needs. Once again, I could have told you that Oracle been in the DoD game for a long time. The contractors of 4 companies could reach a combined total of $9 billion over 6 years. That's the crazy part. Let's see up that part right there that I highlighted. Pentagon said Wednesday the 4 companies received a cloud computing contract that can reach a high of $9 billion total through 2028. So if I'm them, I'm starting to build now. Now I'm just playing. So the Joint Warfighter Cloud Capability. I always love government names. JWCC efforts in line with the United States Defense Department in the effort to rely on a multi-provider or of remotely operated infrastructure technology to oppose to rely on a single company, a strategy promoted during the Trump administration. Once again, back then, originally the Pentagon was going to award the Joint Enterprise Defense Infrastructure, aka the JEDI, in 2019. Microsoft won the whole bid. Oracle sued, Amazon sued, so they were like, no, you can't leave us out, right? So last year, the Pentagon changed it up. It approached those 4 companies to address their cloud needs. The GSA stated at the time, only Amazon and Microsoft seemed to be able to meet their Pentagon requirements. Once again, Google and Oracle went in there. Oracle had 900 million revenue at the end of the quarter, and Amazon had 20.5 billion their quarter. So once again, that's 9 billion. What's up, Todd? Glad you can make it. So got a few more little things to touch on. The thing is, and we all know that is cloud is the future. Cloud is now. I specialize in government space, so I want to do cloud in the DoD space and the government space. There's a super niche right there, but you could do cloud however you want it realistically, right? You can do it commercial, Fed space. Once again, I worked at DoD for 10 years, so I'm familiar with that gov space, NIST, HIPAA, FISMA. There's a ton of GRC compliance that you got to put over the cloud, right? So for me, I think that's the secret bag. And when I start doing my little membership, I probably still share with most everybody, but that's the thing I'm going to focus on is cloud in a federal space. How do you focus on that so you can, like JM say, get over these hiring managers, get over these, you need so much experience, right? Do these projects using this FedRAMP compliance, NIST compliance, HIPAA compliance inside the cloud, right? For a niche, right? To help you once again get over the hiring manager, right? So everybody knows Amazon is my thing right now. So we're going to talk about this. You see right there, they made 500 billion. If you look at what were profit, e-commerce only made 26% of the profits. Amazon Web Service accounted for 25 billion of profits, or 75% of AWS profits was them selling computing services. And most people think they make money driving trucks and selling stuff. No, they make most of their money selling data centers over 3 football fields that people lease. And we saw the government is about to throw 9 billion in there. But hell, Amazon's like, that's cool. We make 470 billion. Just throw that other 9 in there, right? We make money for real. So that's what my man see here. Bayless Code, the primary platform will be AWS with the redundancy Azure database will be held with Oracle. Google may hold MI. No, I think that I think Azure and Amazon's gonna split down the middle. I think they don't want to have a primary platform, Bayless, because Amazon goes down once every 2 years. So I think they're gonna split it. Where their failover is going to be, like you said, redundancy, but I think they're actually going to be running big workloads on Azure, right? I think too is depending on your workload and your agency, I think they're going to have different agencies primary be on Azure and redundancy on AWS, and I think some's going to be primary AWS and Azure. I don't think they're going to let AWS be the primary. And 2 is the government's got a ton of Active Directory, and that runs super nicely on Azure. I can just put it up there, get the AFDS. I'm an Oracle guy, Linux, but there's a ton of people, especially the smaller agencies. They're all over Active Directory and SQL Server. So you run SQL Server in Azure Cloud. Throw your C# on there, get you some CI pipeline stuff. What was that? TMS. I was doing some security reviews on TMS, their pipeline. Azure's got a nice thing, especially if you're medium size. I think they're gonna eat that up, Bayless. I think they're gonna get a lot of stuff. And a lot of people, Amazon gets a little too greedy. So I think a lot of people want to make sure Azure gets a little bit of that. So you see it. I did another video. I put it in the description at the bottom. What does AWS profits really look like? Once again, when I tell people Amazon make their money on computers, not selling stuff. No, don't get me wrong. Their gross is big, but when you talk profits, man, that computing life is hard to beat. Because once you build those data centers, they run for about 10 years, and you building it by the hour, you cutting it up, you spinning it up. and everybody's used, everybody from PBO's barbecue to DOD's up in AWS, right? So they getting some of everybody's money. So once again, I put the link in the description, and I'll probably put it in the end card at the end of the video. Um, so we just look at it. So that was their profits 2021. You show you AWS had 74% of the company's profit. 20 it was 59.63. So they've been creeping up. The reason why is I think a lot of their data centers are built already, right? They keep enhancing them. They're still building warehouse for deliveries. So as you scale up building warehouse to build stuff and put their robots in, that's a huge expenditure, right? For the goods perspective. AWS, I think their base data centers are pretty much built. So they just building. They just building, right? They just keep adding more services on top of it. But the base raw infrastructure, those data centers are up and running, right? So you get your EC2, you get your Docker, you get your EKS, right? You get your platform, you get your Lambda Go serverless. It's hot. And two is I did a little work in Silicon Valley. They don't let you buy hardware anymore because if your project fails, right? VCs, venture capitalists, always want to own hardware, so they're gonna make you lease hardware. All right. So if you scale up, you lease it. If you fail, you just turn it back in, right? So once again, more money for the cloud people. This right here kind of was kind of a unique thing. Twitter spent 7 billion with Amazon, right? Because a lot of their stuff runs in on AWS infrastructure. WESPN spends 8 billion. Baidu, Turner Broadcast, Facebook got 11 billion. These are monthly numbers, right? You spending 7 million a month. Netflix, where their stuff, that's 19 million, right? I think Netflix is about to try to go to Azure though. They're mad at AWS. So once again, that cloud money stacking up. Once again, go in the description, check it out. Talk about how Amazon makes their money, which is what they're gonna spend on the 9 billion. So this was 2021 Q4. Shout out to my man Bayless when he was talking. AWS had 33%. I was surprised Azure had 21. I didn't think it would be that big. So they're kind of right on the heels. Then you had Google with the 10. Those are the pick people. I'm surprised. Look, Google just got 2, but they about to get some of that 9 billion. So they about to get Alibaba, IBM, Salesforce, Tencent, right? Those are foreign. Then the rest of the other Rackspace and all the other little guys got the 18. But of course, the big 3 right there: AWS, Azure, and Google. Right? They're killing the game. Then 2 is Oracle gonna probably get up there with IBM in a minute. You get some of that 9 billion. That 9 billion. So let's see what my man said, Jam. How much did they spend on hardware before moving to the cloud? DOD? I have no idea, but it was a pretty penny because they built their own data center in a couple other states, and it was hard to work with. So I'm sure they were spending a pretty penny before they moved to. And 2, remember, is every 5 or 6 years you got to upgrade that hardware, right, and keep it refreshed. And I just think DoD as a government, and most of their stuff is on legacy. They got a ton of legacy stuff, so I think it was just heavy lift. I don't know, Jam. I'm gonna need to look that up, to be honest. So once again, I'll put that link for AWS in there. And once again, I'll put the videos in the description. So once again, I just love that chart. You see Amazon. I should have bought that stock, man. I should have bought this stock years ago, man. I should have bought it in the 2005s when I was looking at it. Once again, AWS makes 74% of their profits. E-commerce 20%. So that stuff you buy, not profitable. Computer stuff, profitable. And 2 is I just put what shout out to women in Linux. That's my town. It's my town thing. So what does AWS solution architect makes? Total compensation 306,000 for L5, which is a senior. I actually interviewed for this position. I didn't get it, but I interviewed for it. I was like, wow, 3.6. I've been in the game a long time and I'll make 3.6. the cool thing, like Amazon, is your base is 154. You get a bonus every year if you're good and they get good profits of 30,000. You get stock every year, restricted stock options of 68. Depending on if you're on a sales team or something generating money, you could get another 50. Right. So when I interviewed, it was just the top three, and I think mine came out like 275. Right. I think it was like 160. Stock options was 40, and bonus was a little low, like 20. Right. So that's what happens when you get that Amazon life, or even cloud or Google, Oracle. They all get paid because those FANG companies, they real big on the stock options. So you get 70K in stock options every year, right? It wasn't one time, you get every year. So just wanted to touch on that, motivate you. I've been listening to Deion Sanders' motivational speech. We got to outwork the work. Uh, Work always pay dividends, right? So we got to get that work. So let's see what my man Ty, United States government is not good at up facts. That's why they just gave up, Todd, and decided to get in the cloud and let Amazon, Google, and Azure handle that. You are right. They suck at that. So they still have to spend good money on lightweight machines with the expensive, overpriced monitors. No, you true. This true. I think though that it's I wouldn't say it's overpriced. It's still overpriced. But what you got to remember, when I worked at DoD is huge, man. It's like 170,000 people. So they buying machines by the boatload, JM. So they get a huge discount, right? So they got QPAs, which is direct buying for Dell. Uh, I think they were buying Lenovo for a minute till they blocked it, but they get huge price discounts, JM, because they buying that stuff by the semi load, JM. So they do get a big discount. And two is it's getting to a point now where your laptop's almost like a Chromebook, right? You're gonna just do some basic stuff, hook to the net, go to Office 365, get your Windows, your Word, your Excel, right? Get your couple of apps, go through a browser. So I think in the future, your machines are getting more lightweight and less expensive because all your work's really being done in the cloud. So I think that's the future. So once again, I'm gonna drop the link if you bored and want to come up. So I just thought that was interesting. Once again, we all know the cloud is the future. We all know cloud is the bag. We all know all the business is going there. So when I saw that 9 billion, because once again, they talked 10 billion a year ago with the JEDI. So they've been arguing about this probably about 2 years. So it was cool to award it. Once again, I was hoping they were going to award it to the big four and save 1 billion for like maybe 10 other smaller companies to be able to get that. Why? Because I think you're funding companies that's going to grow in the United States, help employers, help people get into IT, right? Because 1 billion, if you're a small company, you get 40 million. That's a lot of money, right? So I was hoping they were going to spread it a little more, because there's a lot of companies and a lot of agencies that have really lightweight security requirements. Like the big guys, DoD, ISMA, HIPAA, right? They all got big security requirements, but I think the smaller ones they could have spread out. What's up, Chaos Rain?
Hey, what's good? What's good, man? What's good? A lot of money into the cloud. Look at all that. I remember, funny thing, it deals with Oracle. I'm not sure what coding language you're well versed in, professor. Is like Java, C, which one?
I do Java. I did Java for 10 and PL SQL back in. So that's what I'm going to start doing. Shout out to Before the Billion. So I probably start doing Java this summer.
Oh, you in
Again,
Java again, but you already know Java. You've been doing
I
it for.
do. I've done it off and on forever. So I just, it changes a little bit every couple years. I got to get the new function and the new coding stream. But yeah, no, I've done Java
What
off and
coding
off.
language? And the style guide. Since we talking about language, come look at it. Said Google and Oracle because they're more known for the knowing certain hubs of
Mm-hmm.
use the style guide of how to use some of the language. Like For example, don't they always change it up? Like when they update like different versions of like how you complete certain statements and stuff with
Mm-hmm.
the style guide, or the style guide's always been consistent. Because I remember one time, did I got a book on one of them things? I probably downloaded the PDF of the Java, but I never really understand that from the not the book version different from the style guide. Like the book, you know, I don't know if they update the books on it, or it's better to go on the internet and just Google it to where you try and figure out what you're trying to do.
I would just Google it, man. Because sometimes, depending on your book, if you don't have a background in that, sometimes those books be like reading mathematical problems sometimes. So, especially shout out to YouTube. They usually have people doing a video on everything. So, if you're trying to learn something or figuring out, especially if you're trying to just do a certain function, somebody probably did a video about it.
Mm,
That makes it a little easier to learn.
okay, okay. Yeah, learning as you go, because I know you talk about it a lot and people don't understand before they could really get a real clear understanding, it's really get a full familiar of a language, a code language at least, because that's where all the bulk is at. Because think about it, the cloud, a lot of money, you know, whole
No, that's
lot.
true.
Yeah. And, it sounds like broken record, but when I mentioned about coding, and I had few people that I had on my channel talk about it. It doesn't get really much views, but as I look at with YouTube, is like certain things is not sexy, to
Yeah.
have talking about and saying, well, this is the way of the future because you're removing people doing jobs and you're forcing people to really start figuring out, which you really want to warehouse people because you know how human beings they're not considered trying to adapt. They're going to try to go to least resistance,
Mm-hmm.
try to learn a skill or try to master something or just to get the thought, just to get a basic understanding, you know. But I think it's all a game when you think about it, because like I'm not sure if you're familiar with this particular AI called Open AI.
I am. I'm gonna do a video on it because it's been yeah. There's been a lot of videos about the open AI and the one is called Lensa. But yeah, no, I'm familiar with that. It's a little scary. But go ahead.
I mean, is it like problematic, like scary? Is like because it look like I'm messing with it right now,
Mhm.
and I'm not sure. It is somewhat interesting. I don't know if it's powerful to come to mess with it right now, and it just gave an answer, but it does give me an answer and to say,
The
"Whoa,
what
that's
what
crazy."
makes it scary is
Because think about
somebody's
it, this could replace a lot of jobs.
yeah. The scary part though, people was telling it to write malware and viruses, and it did a pretty good job of it. So people like, oh. So if you
Wait, you
don't
mean
really
is it able
know,
to fix that?
yeah.
Seriously?
Just Google it. Yeah, one of the big hackers were going over. One of my favorite guys. He's called Simply Cyber. He has a PhD and teach at the Citadel. He was doing it in a video. I was like, oh shit. So now, yeah. So they were.
You
So
gotta
they
have him on. Have you had him on? Have you had him
say
on?
that again.
Is someone that you ever had him as an interviewer? This
No,
man?
no, no. I'm usually in his chat. We kind of go back and chat before. No, I haven't. I'm trying to get on his show because he got 60,000 subs. But no,
Well,
no.
he should have you on, but really, can you do a video on it? Should I
Yeah,
remind you in the chat in the comment section?
yeah, do that for me. Yeah, that's on there. My man before the billions did a short one, but yeah, that's yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that because I was gonna do it in three ways. One was kind of from a hacker perspective, and the other one is they taught her how to do art by like 10 of the best artists with hues and different stuff. The next art show, the AI won the art contest. So is that too much power for the AI to win the art contest because you taught it, right? So is that fair? So
But remember, these things are supposed to replace human thinking, human thought. The only thing that's lacking is the hands, mechanical hands to do these things by
mhm.
mass numbers. But in regards
Yeah,
to
but
artificial intelligence, I mean, I think they got it almost down pat. It's not perfect, but it's pretty much
it's getting there.
close.
But I don't think people really thought of it as winning the art contest. You think about it, but when it actually wins it, everybody's confused. Like, did it just win? Or when it did the rapper, right? And the rapper was so stereotypical, right? So
Mm-hmm.
right? And it got a contract, right? Of course, we didn't like that, so they got rid of the contract. But right, so that's the future, right? Is that the good or the bad part about the future? Let me read this real quick, Chaos.
Go ahead.
Professor Black Ops, what's the beginning starting point to get in cybersecurity? Tevin, that depends on your background, what part of cybersecurity you want to get in. There's cybersecurity for infrastructure. It's called red team, is you being a hacker and bug bounty. Purple team is you securing a website. I'm blue team, you defending against the AI chatbot to make sure it wants to get in. And also, too, Tevin, is we got to specialize it. Do you have any IT background? Are you a programmer? Are you a system admin? Are you just coming from being a CPA or somebody with other skills? So we need to put a little bit about that, Tev, and then you can put in the chat or reach out to me at professorblackops@gmail.com. Usually what I do is send people to certain people. Like if you're brand new, help desk, I'm going to send you to my man Kev Tech. If you got some stuff just getting in, I'm going to send you to Tech G or Master IT. They got courses coming up. Artificial intelligence, my man AI and ME. So it kind of depends on where you at in that stack, Tevin. So once again, you can reach out to me at professorblackops@gmail.com. And two is if you need some career development, I send to my man Black Heights or Textual Chatter. They can help work with you to figure out what's the best move for you to get in this industry. So let me know what you want to do, Tevin. Once again, you can reach out to me. Go ahead, Chaos Rain. I'm with you.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm just messing with it, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is making it's making people more and more irrelevant. And I think about it, this is getting really, I'm not saying weird, but it can be scary though. In a way.
No, but each decade it kept getting better. When it was called Case Tools, and it was called Code Generation. So every 10 years they kept getting better and better.
Everybody know who wrote the code. Anybody know who wrote this? Who developed this?
I do not. I think he mentioned it on this. I gotta look that up. Yeah, shout out to that JM making it easy to write code. Let's see what my man Ty said. I'm just down the fundamentals of the coding class. Oh, facts, man. Fundamentals is where you need to stare at. You can, and I will be. No, facts, man. I got to get that hands on, man. You right.
Mm-hmm. Oh damn! I went.
Oh yeah, facts about that. That facts. But two is he made it so stereotypical, Ty. But you are correct about the AI was generated by the young white guy, right? So no, you facts. We need to do more of that. Let's see. You sent me the Tech G to get my search. It was good. I got all facts. Yeah. So Tech G, I always send out to him. He's got a new program where he kind of walks you through getting a job, JM. I think he's kind of doing it on this membership. So I think I reached out to him. I don't know if he wants me to teach a class or help a few people, JM, but I'm sure I'm gonna be supporting Tech G. Like I said, that's what I came here at my age, is to support people. I don't want to step on too many toes, man. I got about a decade left, JM, and I'm going to retire, man. So I came here to help the young bro.
Go on a beach and drink some nice tequila.
That's my goal, man. We go see. So now shout out to Tech G, my guy, man. He always had me laughing, man. Ultra conservative brother. So we debate on a few things, but I like his different thought patterns, man. We're not monolithical people. So let me hit this once again. You see it at the top. Oracle, Google, Amazon, and Microsoft getting that Pentagon $9 billion to split up. I was surprised. I'm gonna highlight it once again. It's a high of $9 billion through 2028. I thought it'd be over 10 years. They got 6 years to get $9 billion. So I'm sure Amazon and Microsoft gonna eat most of that up. Man. So they probably get 3 or 4 of it, and Oracle probably get hopefully $1 billion. Google probably get 2. Then the other 2 will split the rest, right? Then everybody be super big. Hopefully, we get some new data centers and some new technologies out of it.
We need it. We do need it.
Yeah, Amazon got a ton of stuff. Now, Amazon got like 600 services. Every time I'm there, like, do you want to hook up to a satellite? I'm like, no, I don't want to hook up to a satellite. I'm good. So
Mhm.
they got everything. So once again, cloud is the future. The cloud is now. Whatever you're doing, make sure you get a piece of it. If you are SA, make sure you're doing it in the cloud. If you're a system administrator, if you're a DBA for databases, make sure you do it in the cloud, right? If you're doing DevOps, DevSecOps, make sure you're doing it in the cloud, right? Because most companies are trying to get to the cloud probably over the next 10 years, a substantial amount of the workloads. I think they said 30% now, but I think over the next 10 years, it's going to be up to like 60, right? Because everybody's trying to get there. And once again, when you do work, especially for venture capitalist stuff, they don't let you buy hardware. They're going to force you to go on the cloud. Because if
Yeah,
you
so you
fail,
better not go to
they
the
don't want
cloud.
to own hardware. So
It could cost money.
facts. What do you say,
Save
people
money.
cloud? That is a good question, JM. That is a good question. I don't know. I probably would go probably women in Linux. Tam does a lot with bare metal. Um I gotta figure that out, JM. I might take that on, JM. Now you got me thinking. Probably women in Linux right now. I got to think on that, Jam. That might be where I step in. Once again, most people know I'm getting my AWS certs. I got 4, so uh, they've been killing me, but I've been trying to get them. Oh, facts, Todd. But they passing data to them now on prem, right? If I want your data, I do a warrant. But yeah, facts. Most of that Amazon's pretty good about you can control your own keys to make it a little harder. But you're right. You're right. But I always tell people too, it's not magic we catch terrorists, right? So part of
Hmm.
the intelligence services to catch terrorists, Todd, right? So if we don't give them data, then we can't catch terrorists. So I think we got to figure out how to balance that, right? Bitcoin is the money in the cloud. Oh, facts. Now I'm with you. Bitcoin and data Amazon's got their own blockchain. Bitcoin sits on blockchain. Amazon got their own blockchain database. So if you want to practice on different types of smart contracts that sit on blockchain that sits on top of Bitcoin, I was playing around with a couple blockchain smart contracts just so I understand them from a cybersecurity perspective. So if you want to get into that, once again, Amazon gives you a year free to get that blockchain. I'm hoping to work with engineering cannabis and maybe do a smart contract, small project, right? So we can get our hands dirty. Like Dion said, we got to put in the work. So she's too advanced for me. I can't get hey, I'm right there with you, JM. Tam ain't no joke, man. I be getting on her sometimes, telling her she's the 1%. I be on her, JM. So maybe I need to work with her. I know she got her membership. Maybe we need to work with her on maybe her first level. Maybe we can make that entry into cloud. And maybe I need to teach that on their platform, JM. We need to brainstorm that, man, and see what's going on with that, JM. I'm gonna take that on for the unit. So I appreciate that, Peter Investor. Go check my man out. Go subscribe to him. Give you some financial advice. But we need you to go get your own expert, right? When you get it, right? So we give you some financial knowledge, but you gotta vet it. So whew, man, my old ass is tired. Let's see what else, my bro. You should check out Constellation Dag. Okay, I'll check that out. Oof. But so once again, like I said, wrapping it up. That 9 billion for those 4 companies. We all know Oracle and Microsoft gonna get most of that because they're set up for that. Two is we talked about what the administration is doing from infrastructure, cybersecurity, and part of that is getting into one of those FedRAMP approved. We talk about what is FedRAMP, which is we call it the old term for that good seal of approval, house approval in the 80s, right? The government calls that with FedRAMP. So if your data center gets that approval, you're good enough to get government work. On there, you can look. It's called a marketplace. I put in Oracle. It shows you which one of their services are FedRAMP approved to do government work, right? You got the approval and an attestation to do that type of work. Here we always talked about AWS. That's my favorite one. Getting the bag with the 25 billion in profit for, for 2021. So that's why I did Amazon. And we talked about uh what is a solution architect L5. You get those 70,000 in stock options every year. I interviewed for that. I didn't get it. I needed a little more seasoning. Shout out to me. I got to put a little more labbing every day. Shout out to the one fight Lightfoot. Lab every day. That was his intent. Tam's a beast lover, most definitely. I'm usually on their channel a lot. I got to get back over there. No channel yet. Thanks for the support. For some reason, I thought you had a channel, Peter. I guess I see you in so many chat rooms, Peter. My bad. I just assumed you had a channel. I see you all the time. Let's see. What's Apple not in the cloud as much as others? Cybersecurity's future. I think Apple's mostly commercial as far as that. They do small businesses, but I don't think they really focus on business. Apple's really a consumer product. So when you're talking about FedRAMP, you're talking about government compliance, which is HIPAA, FISBA, FERPA for education. Those are agencies and government agencies. So I think that's why you don't see Apple as much in there. They're more of a consumer company who makes a ton of money. Oh yeah, I always give women in Linux a shout out. They're my homies, so I'm always I try to go over there at least once every other. I just try to go over there every week. I'm usually out and about Saturday. That's the only day I be running errands. That's usually when they're out. So they usually do a 4 o'clock show. I went over there. I think they're busy. I haven't seen them in a couple of weeks, maybe. But now I'm over there. Yeah, Tim. That I thought I was making money till I talked to Tim, Darius. I think I'm broke now. I got to get my money up talking to women in Linux. You know, like JM, I got to get my 400K, man. I wasn't thinking that high, man. Like you said, she got me thinking a little different. Her and Black Heights, man. I just kind of settled, but I had to get on them because both of them be talking about $100,000 ain't no money. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna let y'all say that. PBO, he ain't gonna let you say $100,000 ain't no money. I ain't gonna let them get away with that, Darius. Shout out to them, though. I ain't gonna let them get away with that. But now they be, man, you know. And shout out to Black Heights showed us W2, so that sales game is a different game. I actually just interviewed a sales engineer from Google on my channel last Friday, so go check him out. We just touched on sales engineering, and I'm gonna bring him back. He had a hard stop, so I'm gonna bring him back, and we're gonna delve deeper into sales engineering, commissioning, and how you make that sales money. I've helped sales, but I've never got part of commission, so that might be my next thing to kind of focus on. So, but shout out to women in Linux. I always be saluting them up. They're doing it. And two is usually when females reach out to me, the first person I send them to Tam, then Cyber Center. I always mess her name up. Person Center Cyber, right? She's policy, Fed level, super smart. So I think we always forget about the GRC, governance, risk, and compliance, right? That's the separate part. A lot of paperwork, but they get paid, right? So I think there's so many lanes in tech and cybersecurity to get paid. So just gonna make sure you pick the right one and go get it, right? But shout out to Tim and the bare metal cloud, and she's always in the Terraform. I'm doing cloud formation, so we all in there trying to get it. I'm gonna have to change my focus, my degree to cloud from web dev. Um, no, I too is a lot of times people start at web dev. Then once you start testing your environment. That's really how I got in the cloud. I developed for 10 years. Then I became a web admin, then an application admin, then a DBA tie. So I kind of went through those steps. Because in the old day, it was more of apprenticeship. So you had to kind of do those steps. So I did Oracle Forms and Reports. Then I did Java and Oracle for 4 years. And once again, I was a web and app admin for 3 or 4 years, then a DBA. Then I got in security. So there's a myriad of ways to do it because it's called Purple. security, which is application security, because most of your attacks are done on websites to get in time. So that's really how I got my foot in the door, being a developer. Oh, watch top 10, make sure you validate and SQL injection. You gotta know how to do SQL to do SQL injection, child. So all of that came from my development environment. That's what I actually brought in the cybersecurity to first start getting paid, was that secure coding and application security. A lot of programmers don't get taught that. So that's one way how I got in the game, Ty. So there's a myriad ways to get in there. Shout out to Casual Economy. Yep, they're dope, man. Like I said, I was getting advice. Uh-oh. Why is Palantir involved with the Pentagon versus other spying alphabet agencies? I think Palantir is involved with other alphabet. The funny thing is, I'm gonna do a video on that. Most people don't know who Palantir is. And the other part about it, he's part of the PayPal mafia. He made his first billion with Elon Musk now as part of the PayPal mafia. So
Mafia.
yeah, so I'm definitely gonna touch on that. Shout out to Palantir. So I think they are. I think they just don't talk about it. I think they got their first big contracts from the Pentagon. But for overflow prevention is a little complicated. Yeah, it is. The cool thing is now it is, but there's a lot of modules you can add to your memory now to help you with buffer overflow, Jim, because it was so common. So Oracle's got some things you could put in with their memory to help you with buffer overflow. A lot of times too is strictly validating the length of your fields that you're actually uploading to the database, right? So if you validate and check your size, JM, that's really the base. Okay, Todd, I want to make sure that makes sense. I'm tired and I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, that's really how I started application security. When you look, most attacks on websites, watch top 10, and most people attack from the web application because it's an open port to the internet, right, to get to it. So that's where everybody starts their attack. Anything right along with Essential 2, they both NWO sleeper cells. Right? Most people ain't hip to Palantir though. No, you're right. Palantir make a ton of money, man. They roll with a lot of the Israeli big cyber companies, right? With NSO, Pegasus, all those type of no-click malware. So I put them all part of that same. I wouldn't say team cabal. I don't want to call them cabal, but yeah, that same nation state type hacking, nation state type. We gonna just siphon all information on a planet and put it in one location. Shout out to Palantir. So that's what they do. So so I might do Palantir once again. It's part of the PayPal mafia. A lot of people are hip to the PayPal mafia. There's like 8 dudes. The guys start LinkedIn, Palantir. I'm trying to think. Of course, Elon Musk was part of that. They spun out PayPal, and each one of them, they sold it for some crazy amount, and each one of them made like 800 million, and they used that to start other companies, right? So, and that's why when I laughed, it was like Elon Musk. I'm like, dude, he's gonna bring all this dude from the PayPal mafia to help him on Twitter. So, you should do one on oversight of trading bots on Wall Street through the lens of cybersecurity. Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, because the funny thing is, it's called Graham Leach Wiley is the financial compliance oversight for that, and they do mention bots and artificial intelligence as part of Wall Street. So I could do that. I know I got a few new subscribers. I make my money in doing compliance, GRC, governance, risk, and compliance with federal agencies, specifically the IRS is my specialty, right? So I've done a myriad of compliances, right? The crazy. We were just talking about her. She's appearing, right? Shout out to Tim. We were talking about the cloud, so I told him who would I send to the cloud. I would send them to Tam. That's who I would send to the cloud. So in this space, definitely not sexist, but usually when I get females, I definitely tell them come see Tam. A lot of times they haven't seen that in this space, so definitely send them to Tam. I dropped the link, Tim. If you bored and want to come up, you always welcome. Like again, I'm always on her platform. so but yeah, so once again, Tim talks about this all the time. She knew this. The JEDI got split up between Google, Oracle, Amazon, and Microsoft. They split 9 billion, Tim. So we trying to get some of that 9 billion to get in there. Let's see what my man Calvin Henderson. Glad that you so cheers. Yeah, that's why I said tell her to talk about us. Maybe Peter Adder, she saw it. Did you see the 64 billion contract? I didn't see that. I just saw the 9 billion. There's another 64. See, Tim ahead of me. I just saw the 9 billion. I didn't see the 64. Let me see if I can Google that real quick. Money just growing on trees in DOD, man. Let's see. But yeah, once again, we know the cloud is now the future. So just come and get it. So I need to figure out what that is. Like I said, I just been kind of focused on AWS, but like Tim said, it's gonna be a multi-cloud um, future. And I think that's what the Pentagon said. They want to be in multiple clouds, making it happen. So let's see what this means that we can be more subcontractors. Well, oh yeah, facts. The problem is a lot of times is those big companies they already know what subcontractors they're going to work with, right? So as sometime as a company, right? So you can go work for those, but a lot of times they already have those relationships already figured out. Well, when will the DoD basically control 1 trillion budget? That Billy seem facts. When you're moving tanks and aircraft carrier, you're right. That is a little money. Damn, I heard Colorado about to be dumped on with the snow. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, Midwest, it was decent over here. I'm in Indy. It was like 40 degrees. That's killing it in the winter. So once again, it's the big four getting that 9 billion. Like I said, I'll drop the mic. See if anybody else want to come up. Once again, we already know the cloud's a future. Pick one. In the end, you want to end up multi-cloud. That's the way. I think that's what my man Henderson. Multi-cloud is the only way to go, but you need the cash to be effective and efficient. Yep. So multi-clouds away. I figured I got to start with one, so I started with AWS for a minute, just trying to get a little better at it. Been labbing. Shout out to Dewan, labbing every day. I did a service catalog with cloud formation, so I could tell the developers they can only use these services in their account, right? So just working on different things, just trying to get better every day. My Warriors are blasted, so I'm down. Yeah, I saw that. Shout out to the Warriors. They got to get it together. It's a long NBA season, so once again, that's the big four. I think Google probably gonna win the most. I'm not Google. I'm sorry, Oracle, because they were the smallest. So if they get any of that 9 billion at their size, I think they're gonna substantially grow. I think they're gonna be the huge winner out there. Of course, I think Amazon and Azure gonna take the lion's share, but they already had the lion's share, right? So that's nothing new. I think, like they said, they were surprised Oracle could fulfill some of those GSA requirements. So I think Oracle's gonna be the big winner out the four because they're so small. And I showed you the one graph here. I think they only had 2% of the market. Let me find it. There it is, the pie. Like that little look. So they had just 2% of the pie there. So you got Oracle 33, Azure 21, Google 10, Oracle 2. So I think Oracle at 2 is gonna be a big winner at that. So get together there 14-14. They'd be all right, but nevertheless, facts. To Sam, shout out to Mark. No, so There it is. So that's all I got. I'm about to shut it down. I got to get up and I get to work remotely. So I can roll out the bed tomorrow and do a little work. Let me see. Do you think Oracle is small because of lower quality or late to party or something else? I think they were actually late to the party. Larry Ellison actually called AWS a toy when it first came out. So he was super late. He was probably 20 years late getting to the cloud. I think even Azure was late. They were like 11 years late, right? So I thought Oracle never thought the feds would move to a commercial cloud or even a government cloud because Oracle killed. They were the federal database for 20 years. Oracle was de facto standard for a database. So I think they um, disrespected the cloud. They thought the federal space would always stay on prem and private. So I think they just got caught off guard on that. GCP is building a L5 cloud for DoD. Oh, in India? Boo. Why are we building in India? Shut it down. So nah, so yeah, it's weird because they're released because a lot of their government regulations says their stuff has to be in CONUS. So a lot of their stuff. So that's interesting they're building in India because a lot of their stuff is so it's just got to be on continental US for sorry, CONUS is continental US. So a lot of their stuff, IRS says all their data has to be in the continental US. It can't flow to India. It can't flow to any other continent. It's got to be in continental US. That's one reason I do Fed space, right? It creates a barrier entry to keep all of that up there. Training 500K in cybersecurity in India. Yeah, that's common. Mike Calvin Henderson says, makes sense. I find it hard to believe how quickly 10 years cloud formation has evolved to be used versus locally. Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. I actually just probably switched 5 years to really believing that was more secure and is in actually commercial data centers that are on-prem for the government. So I'm finally switching over myself, to be honest. I'm an old curmudgeon. I don't change it. But they're employing foreign contractors for government work. Not at DOD, they're not. Unless they got H1, I'll take that back. If you're H1B approval, yeah. So you got to go through all that paperwork. You got to go to a background check. Depending on top secret, you might have to do a lie detector. Peter, my boss actually had to go through a lie detector. I had a knack and I was getting it's called a SSBI, which is mid-level secret. So that's what I had. And my boss was top because he used to go to the Pentagon some and to DC. So he had to get the top secret with the lie detector. I'm gonna have him on to talk about that.
That sounds great.
Yeah, talk about that level of security. Like I said, I had the Google guy on. He's gonna come back. He had a hard stop in 50 minutes, but I'm gonna thank everybody from joining me. Shout out to JM. We're gonna start calling this late night with PBL. So I think it's gonna be my day is gonna be Tuesday, 10 p.m. For some reason, I like that spot. Tim, drop your channel in there if you can. I don't know if you're out and about. Go check. If she can't, go check out Women in Linux. Definitely a channel I always check out. Check out my man Chaos Rain. Drop your channel in there, man, if you want to.
Yeah, I noticed you made me a moderator, because I didn't know that. So
yeah, drop your channel in there, man, so people come check you out.
Matter of fact, I do this. I'll drop the latest video, and they can subscribe to the channel. Make it easier.
That's cool. Check out his video if you want to check him out. Current topics, so go check him out. Let's see. Casual economist in the house, Peter an investor, Todd. I'm glad for everybody joining me. So this is what we're gonna do. Once again, definitely check out Women in Linux tech side. I'm always on her channel bothering her. So you definitely see me over there. So I'm always there. Check out the AWS in the description I did. I'm probably gonna put it at an end card. Just talking about the profits AWS. I was kind of a little surprised when I saw those profits. Let me show the profits. I love saying profits. The profits. There we go, right there. See, they made all that money right there. Total revenue, let's round up to 470 billion. E-commerce only made 26% of the profits. AWS Computer made it 74% of the profits, and that was rounding up to $25 billion, right? So Amazon don't make money selling you stuff. They make money on that computer stuff. Shout out to them. So yep. Everybody go check out Women in Linux. I'm on there bothering Tam. She's always giving great information. She's got me thinking about my money. I used to think I had money till I talked to Tam. I got to get a little more money. I got about 10 years left. So I got to get some of that L5 360 money we had right here. We had the L5. That's what I interviewed for. I got to get with Tam and do a little more labbing. There we go. We need some of them stock options every year. 70 grand restricted stock options. Shout out to them. Tam always talking about the money. This is my Tam imitation. Get you a base pay about 160, bonus about 34. Get you stock options every year of 7. If you in sales, you get a commission of about 50 every year. So that comes out to even $306,000 total pay a year. So that's what we're trying to get. That's the bag. What's the best tech social media app? I would have to do a top at the top, not the best. Like your social media app at the top, you always gonna have the big guys: Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon. I mean, just the top ones, right? But like my man said, when you do that, right, you opening yourself up for mass surveillance, mind manipulation. So getting disbanded, right? So there's so and cool, we're good at it. Twitter, right? Which is a national security issue, right? I brought that up on the video. So it just depends, power section. You need to be multi-cloud, even if it's a general. Oh no, you're right, Tim. I'm gonna get there. You are 100% right. You're 100% right. Whoever dominates in the health cloud will make revenues. I think IBM's kind of leading that way with their Watson, right? I think Watson was used for that medical healthcare cloud. I'll let Tim chime in on that a little bit. I think IBM's leading that healthcare. I think everybody's in it, but I think IBM had some partnerships with some of the bigger cancer hospitals looking for that. Mastodon is not the top. LinkedIn is great research. No, you're right. The reason I named Mastodon because everybody was tired of Twitter, so that's why I put them on the top, Calvin. So that's the reason I said that. But you're right. But everybody's tired of Twitter, so I'm putting them at the top. I'm putting Mastodon at the top because we tired of Twitter. We trying to overthrow the richest man. So we try to overthrow the richest man, Calvin. That's why I put him on the top. We tired of Twitter. We're going to Mastodon. I'm not on either of them. I'm laughing. I'm not on either of them, to be honest. So Twitter's so toxic. I don't know if I want to. I'm too old to be getting dragged on Twitter. So I don't know. Shout out to Calvin, man. He's always giving me a shout out, give me great comments on my videos. He's always supporting me, man. So I always give a shout out to Calvin. But I'm out of here. Oh, people got to get up and do a little work in the morning. Thanks for joining me, Chaos Rain. I appreciate everybody going me. This is going to be my time, I think, late night with PBO. So we're going to be touching different topics. I think I'm going to start a book club that I'm going to put on here. I think I'm starting off with the weapons of math destruction. It's an old but goodie. Talking about algorithms gone wrong. I read it's kind of dry. I'm trying to figure out how to make it palatable. So I gotta figure out how I'm gonna make it.
You got the book on you? Can you show people the book if you have it present?
I do.
All right, let me see the screen.
I don't think. Can you read that? Well, that's not bad.
Hold on. Let me go. Give me a second. Let me check.
Okay.
I can't see enough right now. I'm looking at my screen. Unless you share the whole screen here. This.
Oh, my bad. What am I doing? What am I? Oh yeah, that's what I need to do. You right.
Tech savvy, you know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm so happy.
No, I'm tired. You right. Let me switch it up. Let me unshare my screen. Then show the book. That might help. You see it
Turn
now.
to the side. Let's see how thick it is.
Oh, it's small. It's small. It's super tiny.
Small shit. That's it.
It's small. Yeah.
When that book came out?
It's about 10 years old. It was one of the first people that started talking about the dangers of algorithms and bad. She's got some good examples. So I think that's going to be the book club.
And I will say to the one that subscribed to the channel, there is Ruben. Thank you. I noticed I got a notification.
That's cool.
Don't be hesitant, guys. I know it's not much in chat. Subscribe, man. Let's see if I can get myself to 900.
Yeah. Get my man to 1,000 so he can be like me, get a little barbecue on the weekend, man. I get a little barbecue money. So
I got a long way to go before I reach 1,000. That's like an extra 100. I don't know if I'm gonna get that quick now.
oh man, I got on Keep It Techie and Black Heights, and I got 150 in 3 weeks, man. But
Oh wow.
Keep It Techie had 20,000. I think Black Heights had 10. Shout out to
Is
Women
it
Linux.
20,000 now? You sure? Let me check.
Say that again.
He on 20K now? Keep It Techie got 2 weeks.
I think. Go double check me. Yeah,
I
he
think
up there.
It was over 10,000. I don't think he got there that quick already. Shit.
Maybe I'm wrong. Double check me. I know Black Heights is at 20.
Let me type it up right now. 1 second.
Yeah, type it up. But so I think that's the book club. I'm trying to get it going.
Becky. All right, I see him.
What are you at?
Let's check. No, he's at 15.
Oh, that's right there. I'm rounding up 15, 20. So yeah. I was with him with that 10. And like I said, I got quite a few off of him. I went to him. Then I think Black Heights at 10. I think Black Heights is at 20. The Women in Linux, we got a lot of the same lap over. So I got when I went up on there, they were gracious enough to let me go on their show. So mine, I jumped. Really, I got most of mine hitting it because I'm always on a ton of panels. So I hit those 5 big ones, and I just kind of really start rolling. 1 month I had like 250 in 1 month subs. So I really get, like I said, I really get most of my subs by going live and going on other people's show. Really.
Yeah, so, you try and snatch the audience. Let me just take it. All right, man. What's good, everybody? Let me just we gotta do what we have to do necessary, man. You gotta go around, present ourselves, engage. Hopefully, somebody will subscribe.
You know, I tell people, you dropping the link, I'm coming up.
I'll be honest. This is the poor man way of getting subscribers.
Oh, fast. Shout out to Black Heights. Black Heights has a Saturday show. I was on it, and Women in Linux. I'll be up bothering Tam every show she dropped the link. I'll be coming up. so shout out. So that actually helped me get there. My man said he's gonna sub at the end.
Okay.
So no, that's cool. So you probably get 10, get a little few off the replay. So once again, everybody have a nice night. I'm old, I'm tired, man. Long day for me.
Get some rest, man. Get some rest.
I appreciate it. Thanks everybody for joining me. It's gonna be late night with PBO. I think this is gonna be my slot. Everybody have a great week. Tomorrow's hump day. Let's get it. I see everybody.
Wait, where do you subscribe lessons besides YouTube? Who said that?
Calvin Henderson.
Yeah, no. Power C Shell said, "Where do you subscribe to besides YouTube?" Damn, that's a hard question. Maybe next time.
I don't know. I got to think about that myself.
But get some rest. You've been here.
All right, I'll talk to everybody. Everybody have a great week. Let's get that hump day tomorrow. God is love. Scroll up. She's in. She posted her channel. You'll see her name with her channel on the God is Love.
I gotta give it one thing. This for future reference to all people that subscribe to people's channels, they say I got you. You know, try not to use the word just sub or whatever. You can still say in the chat room, but sometimes YouTube's very fickle. They like to make sure no one's spamming when they post it like that. So they say I just S to your channel. You know. Yeah.
No, that's a good point. They do.
Yeah, and really, that's kind of effed up because think about it. They're unsubscribed people.
Oh, they will. They will.
Yeah, and they should not be doing that. They should be saying, if you subscribe. But they do this that way. They sort out anybody that's doing what they don't want on the website. You're talking about educational stuff or things that's not relative, they will punish you. You get me? They want you to join the gang. Not me. Oh, no.
No, you're right. And they collateral damage. You could be doing the right thing and they still take you out. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to get there, man. It's a hard grind, man. Yeah. I'm out. Everybody have a nice day, nice night. Everybody, let's get this hump day tomorrow. I'm out.
Yeah. Oh, and for those that sub, be on the lookout for me and Professor interview. I'm up